Good morning, everybody. We are back at it today, aren't we, Dad?
Yep.
We are pruning up the St. Croix. We got these don't look very good. This is one of the rows we might end up having to cut out eventually and start something new. We got this half row to do. We went down halfway, and then we'll come back on the next row. Get these two things done this morning, and then we're gonna get the sprayer all hooked up, and Dad's gonna go ahead and get the Vineyard sprayed. So then that's taken care of. We actually sprayed the 10th of May last year. So it's kind of funny that it ended up working out that we're first time spraying is on the 10th of May this year. So yeah, we're gonna go through, get these kind of finished up, and kind of what we're doing on the St. Croix here. So like with this is all, the main part out here is dead. So we will go through, and on this one we have a nice one coming up here. Not really a huge fan of how it looks down into here, but we'll be able to salvage it for this year, and this will be a crop that we'll get off of. This vine will come off of this right here, this newer vine, and then we'll cut this out. And yeah, so going back on what I talked about in one of the earlier videos, I said, what did I say? Shoot creep?
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be spur creep. So this is kind of what you deal with, where you got your main trunk here, and then we've just allowed it to slowly go out higher and higher every year. Well, what's happening is you're getting all your fruit, or your main vine is going to be up above your catch wires. So we're here on a VSP system, which maybe I'll do another video that kind of goes through and fully explains everything. But you want your fruit to be in here. Well, the fruit's going to be higher up, and that you don't want, because when you're coming through machine harvesting, you have your shaker rods are all at a certain height, and it will miss certain stuff if it's above the shaker rods. So that's why we want to try to get everything back here to your main cordon wire. And yeah, so that's a little bit of that, and I'm sure in the upcoming clip we'll probably have us showing how we hook up our sprayer and a little bit of the sprayer. All right, so we're getting our pump put back on the sprayer here. This is our 150 gallon fan air sprayer, and it just has a big turbine fan on it, and it just spins through PTO, and then everything, all the spray comes through these nozzles, and you can shut off. So what we'll do is we'll probably shut off most of these, because you're just going to be spraying a smaller area because there's not a lot of foliage. So, and then we'll get that hooked up to our 4520, which is about the perfect size for this tank, especially now that we got the loader on it. Before we had the loader on it, it would be pretty light on the front, but now we don't have to worry about that when we're fully loaded. This is our old sprayer that we used to use. We upgraded to this one because it's just a lot less trips Dad's got to make back and forth. So yeah, we're gonna hopefully get this all hooked back up and de-winterized and get spraying done. So what he's doing now is covering it and breaking it. All right, we got that fully tightened down and everything, and he is all ready to go. So he's gonna go ahead and load it up with water, make sure all the spray nozzles are going the way he wants it to. And we got a nice calm breeze, so that'll help keep any kind of stuff off of him. And that's the nice thing about that, is it'll flip, that fan you can flip back and forth. So depending on what the wind direction is, you can always keep it off of you. While he's spraying, I'm gonna go and get some mowing done. And while we're up here, I figured I would go ahead and give everybody a vineyard update. So our grapes are coming along great. They're just growing like crazy. And I mean, the weather's been just perfect for them to really start to take off. Dad got the rows. We did our first rough mowing. The first one always looks terrible. And then we'll come back down through again and mow it all, and then we'll get the centers of the rows all done, and then have everything looking nice and neat. So going back to what I talked about a while back in some videos about us trying to get everything back to the main trunk. So these before were way up high starting out, so all this growth would have been way up here, and now we got everything cut back. We're hoping everything turns out good. It looks like it's gonna turn out good. So some of these we had to leave out a little ways. They're not coming out of the base, but we've been getting a lot of good stuff coming close to the base, and you can just each year work back further and further. So pretty pleased with how everything's looking. We weren't sure how this one was going to turn out, but ended up getting a lot of stuff coming out, so that's great. And then we'll go down through and we'll probably cut these out if we get a chance, and then we'll thin things out. And then we kept this one as well because we weren't sure how this main was going to look. So we had this as a backup, so we'll be able to cut this one out and we'll be able to run with this one. So then we can keep going over a couple other rows here. Here's our Edelweiss. We didn't get that one short pruned. It should be all right this year. Next year we're just gonna have to make sure that we definitely get to it. So we'll probably go through and we'll cut some of the dead stuff out and make sure it looks a little bit better. And then these are kind of not our great rows. These are, I think, our Deshonak. Possibly, yeah, Deshonak. So we went through and pretty much got these are Deshonak, because we were going to go through and cut these all off again. Not sure what Dad has planned for these rows yet this year. If we can get stuff knocked back, killed back, we'll definitely try to get something retrained like what we were doing with these rows. These are the Deshonak. These are the ones we cut off 2 years ago. Last year, 2 years ago, and trying to get stuff to grow out of those. We may end up having to retrain some of them, like this one probably have to be retrained. This one is looking pretty good. I'm not a huge fan of this one being so far away from the other, but it should be all right. Not too worried about it. The only thing you worry about is if it's growing way out to the side, because when your machine harvester comes through, it scars them up pretty good, just because it's got a set width that it has to go through. But yeah, that's the 2 rows that's being done, and then us just getting these cut off this year. So we will keep moving down here, keep looking at stuff, and just kind of everything's greening up nice, so that's good. I don't know if you can see our bean fields coming through pretty good. yeah, everything is, and we need to do a lot of shoot thinning on these, so pull these off like this and just really thin it out to make sure we're not getting too much overgrowth or too many things, too many shoots coming out, that it's just gonna be trying to put so much into so many different things, and it can focus the fruit, focus on putting nutrients and everything into the fruit. All right, so continuation on from yesterday, vineyard update. Didn't get over here. This is the Brianna here. We'll talk a little bit about that. We have our Petite Pro over here for these 2 rows, and then the next 2 rows are our Frontenac Blanc. So we'll kind of go through a little bit. Finally got Dad up here. It's about time he got up here. So he'll talk a little bit about the Brianna to begin with, what we got going on, a little bit of the growth, and kind of what we still need to do to them. Take it away.
If we get a chance, it's nice if we could tuck the vines, all these long ones, get them up through the catch wires. Stabilize things. Did you say something about the temperature? I can't remember if you did or not. It's 56 degrees. It's the 19th of May in the vineyard. That's why I have my jacket on this morning with my gloves. But if we ever get a chance, this is what we could do. Is normally we don't get a chance and just kind of let them go. But if we can come along like this, tuck these up through the catch wires. These are at the right stage right now, and you can see they're starting to bloom right now. You can see a few of these, the caps have fallen on a few of you. You can see the turn it off.
No, we're keeping going. This is true us. All right, and then so what we'll do is
we'll flower clusters in there.
Yep, and then
these need to come off.
Yep, we'll go through and break all these off and have these all cleaned up, so then we don't have any shoots on the ground, and all the nutrients are all going up to your clusters and then where you want it. We're also, hopefully Monday we will be
pop right off.
Yeah, but hopefully Monday we'll be out in the new part of the vineyard and putting catch wires up, and then that day Monday we will go ahead and talk about our catch wire system. So like I said before, we're on a VSP. We'll go through and explain kind of benefits of, for us personally at least, for being on VSP versus high wire and such. So we'll kind of go through that and talk about why we like VSP where we're at versus high wire and everything else. So yeah, that's a little bit it. So this was stuff that was coming out of the base. They just pretty much just pull right off. So we will go through, and after we get catch wires put up Monday on the new part of the vineyard, we will go ahead and probably our next task in the vineyard is getting all the shoots all pulled off the bases. But that's been a little bit of an update of what's going on. Appreciate everybody for watching. Stay tuned for some more exciting stuff. Hopefully have something exciting going on tomorrow morning if it's dry enough, and we will have a video out for that. Any words of encouragement, Dad, for the weekend?
Nope. Have a nice weekend.
All right, you heard it here first. Have a nice weekend, everybody.